Alright, let's recap what the doctor told me. Yes, important matters to take care of, so I have to take care of this dimensional problem alone because I am a big boy who can handle a few rocks on his own. Yeah, let's just ignore the fact that I almost got canned by a fat blue piece of Wait, what's there? Touhou is a pretty interesting franchise because I'm fairly certain that 80% of its fanbase hasn't ever beaten any of the mainline games. Me included. It's incredibly difficult and believe me, I've tried many times to beat them. The furthest I've gotten is on 16, almost beating the lunatic backup dancers before getting my ass handed to them. But what I have done is beat some of the Touhou spin-offs and this Touhou Fangame in particular, Genso Wanderer. I have this weird love-hate relationship with the game because on one hand it's great how much content it has, but on other, this game is sometimes bullshit and really repetitive. But why? Why do I have nearly 80 hours on PC, having purchased on multiple different platforms when I clearly hate this game? Well, that's what I want to talk about during this video. What kind of game it is, its origins, how I got the game, re-release of the game and stuff it has. I obviously want to avoid going too deep in because this game is so long, so I'll try to cover things more in a cohesive manner, and if this video does well, I might cover more of it in the future. Like, I don't know, if this video gets like 15 likes or reaches 200 views, I will then consider making a follow-up to this video. Without further ado, let's start with how Genso Wanderer released. Genso Wanderer, or known in Japan as Fushigi no Gensokyo 3 or Mystery Gensio 3, was released back in 2014 and is the third generation roguelike fangame in the Mystery series created by Aqua Style. It's a roguelike turn-based RPG based on the Touhou universe. You control Reimu as the main character who has plenty of her own specific skills, but you get to sometimes control different characters too in a different story sections. Now Reimu isn't alone this time around, as you can pick different characters to accompany you like Futo, Satori or Raisin, the small bunny from the manga. As it's an RPG, you can either find equipment like weapons, shields and talismans lying around in the dungeons or buy them from the shops. This game is pretty unique for the fact that the equipment you find is based on different items from the franchise. Like you can field Alice's dolls or shield yourself with your rundown shrine box. Or you know, you can just defeat your enemies with a banana. But remember when I mentioned this is a third generation and not the first? Well, that's the interesting part that I only discovered while researching for this video. The first appearance of this game was back in 2010. Now there isn't much info on this first or second version other than they are brutally difficult. I managed to find the download for the game in the Moria Shrine and tried to install it, but I am not risking my computer for a game that will be nearly impossible to beat. There's also the second generation called Under the Moonlight, which seems to be improved version of the first game, and there's even this 3D movie where Reimu goes against many of the habitats of the Gensoki and just beats the shit out of them. And goddamn, she didn't need to humiliate Komachi like that. She then goes against Oku and activates her fantasy nature. It's a pretty cool animation, although she does look like a gremlin here instead of the usual elegant shrine maiden. Between 2010 and 2014, Sony and Aqua Style started collaboration, and this started the development for the third generation Tower of Desire, which came out during 2014. But wait! There's more. Just about 2 years later, the game got digitally released in Japan in 2016 in the PS Vita, and the localization for the game we all know as Genso Wanderer got released in 2017 for the PlayStation 4 and Vita. But then just a year later they released another improved version of the game known as Genso Wanderer Reloaded, which was released on Nintendo Switch, PS4 and PC. I wasn't expecting to be taken this deep into a game's development history, as I thought the game came out during 2014. I don't remember exactly when I got this game, but it was around 2017 when I was just young and very stupid. I was exploring this game store when I ran into it, and I hesitated before buying it because the Metacritic score wasn't the best, and if I remember correctly, the game was like 60 or 70 bucks. But I caved in because the art is very beautiful. So I got the game, died few times, was confused what the hell was even going on, and I got in trouble with my mom because I was too embarrassed to play it when she was in the house because, well, try to explain to your parents why you play as a cute girl and not manly man who will cut down his enemies down with an axe. But really, I want to gush about the cover art for a moment. The cover is so beautiful. Reimu and Futo are in a big field with such joy and determination in their faces, and the big looming tower behind them is so cool. It's just very nice, and I really like how Reimu's outfit is based on curiosities of Lotus Asia design, and I just love the big ass bow she has. Speaking of the case, when I got the game, it came with this art book which showed some key art, rough sketches, special illustrations, cancelled games and the development history. I really adore this and wish many games came with a small art book. The game even came with a free DLC known as Double Focus at 2D Metrovania, which sucked a lot. But hey, art book and a free game, how nice is that? But we haven't even talked about the actual game yet. Genso Wanderer starts off in Korindo, where Reimu and Rinosuke are spending time on a rainy day. But oh no, the golden spear Rinosuke has is actually cursed, and because Reimu looked at it, she became cursed herself and tries to steal it from him. Rinosuke tries to keep Reimu away, and she returns to normal and tries to take it from him again. But as lightning strikes, the ball rolls to floor, causing Rinosuke to be in distraught, and it then releases its powers to him, which then possessed him and then became the Viking and challenged her to a battle. Reimu failed to beat him and had to escape. The store then transformed into Avaritium Tower and multiplied the population by creating mindless clones of the people who live there to help make Korindo more profitable. While Reimu was returning back to her shrine, she meets up with Futo, and together they have to climb to the top of the tower to beat some sense into Rinosuke. Firstly, the 3D animations have improved so much. Reimu doesn't look like a gremlin, and is actually a very cute shrine maiden who I wouldn't mind asking for dinner if I had the courage to talk to a woman. Second, that's the story, and it's really cool, although not very realistic, as Reimu will never team up with someone like Futo who has very pyromaniac tendencies. But it's very fresh to see Reimu team up with someone who hasn't appeared in that many of the games. And Futo is just very cute too. She's more hardworking yet a dumbass, which contrasts with Reimu's more lazy but serious way of thinking. It leads to really funny moments like where Futo threatens to burn something up or Reimu has to stop her from causing unnecessary damage. You meet familiar faces along the way and explore some neat original locations like Yokai Village and the Tower. But I haven't even talked about what the actual gameplay is like. It's a dungeon crawler RPG where you defeat clones of the characters from the franchise, level up your equipment and defeat dungeons that become harder and harder as you progress. And that's all you do. There are no crappy minigames to complete, and all you do is enter a dungeon, defeat foes, advance and repeat until you either beat the level or run into a boss fight. While the gameplay may seem basic, there's a lot of thinking you need to do when you enter higher dungeons. Like, should you try to beat the enemy, use an equipment, run, or just say fuck it and nuke the room with one of your spell cards. It's really fun and can get pretty challenging when you advance through the game. And it's pretty nice of they explained that the incident also affected the landmass, changing layout on every visit, and the items you find are also duplicates of the originals. Speaking of equipment and skills, you have quite a few. First of the basics, you get a weapon and shield, nothing groundbreaking. You can also duel with weapons, but you mostly tend to one-shot everything if your weapon has high enough damage, and there are traps that tend to lower your weapon's enhancements if you don't have an upgrade for it, so it's usually not worth it. You also have Danmaku, which offer many different perks, like for Reimu it's long range attack, 3x3 spell, piercing needles that goes through enemies and bombs that deals lots of damage to enemies around you but uses the most amount of P points you have. The coolest thing about these weapons and shields is that they change their appearance the more levels they gain. It kinda makes you want to try out different combos to see what they change into. For example, Reimu's rod starts off as this weird leaf, then changes to her classic Gohei, and then this stuff up finally into Hakurei spear. It's pretty cool, and for shields you find this small rock which turns into keystone that Tenchi uses, and then finally Spirit Stone. Then you have amulets which give different support effects like giving you a second chance if you die, increase your Danmaku power and so on. Then you have consumables like medicine which either heals, give different perks like flying or invincibility. Then you got talismans which have different functions like pushing enemies away or lowering the level. To be honest, I rarely use these, I mostly just turn them into money or Nito points. Speaking of Nito points, during the game when you defeat enemies they have a chance to drop them, and with them you can use them to fuse different equipment together to make them stronger. Make different items or break them to get more Nito points. There are just so many mechanics that I am barely scratching the surface. Now you get partners from playing the game, but you can also download some of them. I wonder if they are like those optional free DLC that you need to download and complete some dungeons to get them their paid microtransactions. Great! So not only you need to pay like 30 bucks for this game alone, you need to pay up to 36 extra bucks to get all the characters. I myself have only bought Cyrano to use for that one Xeno video I made back in 2021, but this is just outrageous. Sure, there are few good DLCs like Sakura's story and costumes for Reimu, but god damn, this is a scam. Like, would you rather spend 7 bucks to get fun extra story with access to some game breaking equipment or 2 extra characters? Or get some cute costumes for Reimu? I would rather have these characters unlocked through play the game, or at least make them cost like half the price. I just wanted to rant about this. It's not really related to the game itself, but goddamn, this is greedy. Now I want to focus on the aesthetics like the art style, music and voice acting. This game is absolutely beautiful. The way the backdrops are drawn are just beautiful. The characters are gorgeous and some have great, if not one of the best character designs. Like I mentioned Reimu earlier. Her Shrine Maiden uniform is absolutely great with its layered skirt, the yellow tie and her absolutely huge bow. I just love that bow. It tends to bring out more of her personality and honestly it feels like it reacts to whatever she's doing. I might be overthinking this, but I can't praise enough how great the art is in this game. But at the midpoint of the game, Reimu's style changes and her bow isn't as big as before, so it's pretty disappointing. But still, I do like the more refined look, but it really does clash with the older style when you are in a cutscene with someone who hasn't been updated like Kasen or Futo. But still, the art style is great. You can even get some different costumes for Reimu like Santa costume and bikini, which are surprisingly not too sexualized and pretty cute. I do prefer use Reimu's original outfit, but I don't mind beating some dancers dressed up in a bikini. And the music, it's so great. Sometimes goes a bit too hard on some instruments, but the reloaded version has fixed those problems with the later dungeons. Imagine this, you're playing this game for the first time and you start the first dungeon and you're greeted to this. It's probably why this game has attracted so many Touhou fans to play this. I want to play some examples so you get better idea what kind of music this game has to offer. The voice acting is pretty good. I really like Reimu's voice, it fits her perfectly. Futo's is pretty cute too.
私たちの目的は異変の解決よ。この里を滅ぼすことじゃないわ。ならば仕方がない。火を放つのはしばらく様子を見てからにするか。
I'm not too sure about certain characters like Hieda, who sounds a bit too youngish for me, and it's really weird why she has a black hair instead of purple.
ひどいじゃないですか、レイムさん。私のこと忘れちゃったんですか？
Anyway, the voice acting is great. I like it. But how the story progresses with this visual novel style cutscenes is a mixed bag. On one hand, you have a lot more interactions between different characters, but on the other, it's so boring. It just goes on and on and on, and I'm not really a fan of visual novels, because if I want to read lots of text, I'd rather read a book. And holy shit, I wasn't joking when I said they go on. At one point it's nearly half an hour the exposition and it was so boring. And guess what? The intro and when you beat Rinnesker are the only animated cutscenes, so that's fun. But I guess this is probably my problem, and probably doesn't bother someone who likes to read, but I came to beat the shit out of different Touhou characters, not read a book. Also, while I do like the gameplay, I will lie if it didn't get repetitive, fast and pretty unfair at certain dungeons. All the enemies have some unique abilities like Komachi pulls you to her, Sekibanki leaves her head behind when she gets defeated and so on. But there are like 3 enemies that are so bullshit they make me pretty angry. Number 1 is Genji. When she is at her max level, she causes earthquakes across the floor, so you get constantly damaged without being able to stop her. Second is Flandre. She is tanky, deals lots of damage and leaves flames on the floor which damages you. And finally, Hina, who will curse your items, which means you can't use or remove them, which is really bullshit. And the boss fights are pretty lacking too. They're more like boosted normal enemies with some high damaging AoE attacks. I remember struggling with Rinosuke before finding the optimal strategy of just letting Futo personally handle him and healing her from behind, which isn't exactly fun, but it worked. These days I am so used to the bullshit I can easily beat him myself, but still the bosses suck, especially the moon boss. And if you die at any point of the floor, you will start from the beginning, losing all of the cash you gathered, but luckily not your items. This is extremely brutal, but what if I were to tell you that there's a way to cheese this? When you die, just press Alt F4 or close the game from the home screen. The game doesn't save when you die, only when you decide to go back home or start from over, so you can brute force through a lot of the game with it. I have no idea why this is possible to do, but hey, at least it makes the game a bit more fair. After you defeat Rinosuke, it isn't the end of the game. You get plenty of more stories to go through, like helping Satori stop the tower from growing under the ground and threatening old hell, going to the Moon amusement park, and some different character campaigns like Mari's and Alice's trip to Fairy Kingdom, Aya and Momi's investigation into the Yokai Mountains incident. They're all fun in their own way, but in the end I just love to play as Reimu, so campaigns where I can play as her are my favorites. But hey, I will leave you a quick hint. If you happen to own Sakura's DLC, I recommend doing it before Satori's story, so you will get some busted equipment and lots of money and Nito points, which will help you buy what you need like gas and drinks and easily upgrade your equipment. You get one of, if not the best weapon through this DLC, and can pretty easily beat the rest of Reimu's campaigns. That is until the final dungeon, where you need to go back to the tower and defeat the final boss of Genso Wanderer. I won't tell who it is, but let me tell you, you will close the game quite a lot with this boss. And that's the game. Overall, it can be pretty bullshit at times, but I won't lie, I really like it. Still, fuck this game for its bullshit bosses and enemies, but still, you should get this game if you're a huge Touhou fan like me. I can't really recommend it to someone who hasn't ever played any of the games, as this really requires you to have some knowledge of the franchise. There's even a prequel game starring Tenchi and Sanae, which I've been thinking about getting, but probably won't because it doesn't have Reimu Hakure, my wife, the absolute best character, and if I can't play her, it doesn't matter. But thank you all for watching, do leave a like if you want more Touhou content, and overall enjoy these longer rambling type videos. Thank you all for watching and have a reloaded day, everyone. Thank you. Reimu?
You're welcome, but how come you know me? Are you one of Nitori's weird metallic creations? Because you don't look like you're from out here.
I have heard so much about you. And no, I'm not created by Nitori, I'm just a passerby and...
Nitori, I think we found the source. Is the robot ready?
I've already sent JP5K to your current coordinates and will take care of the anomaly.
Ouch, I really need to get Nitori to fix these thrusters.
You did well. Although I don't think you need to hit your head every time.
Don't patronize me. At least I fixed the problem.
Hi. My name is Trash, but I will need that stone, as it's important for mason and stuff. Do you mind if I take it and be on my way?
Hold up! How do we know you're not the one who caused this incident? And why is this rock so important to you?
Whoa, I didn't do anything. I just need that rock so I can fix the realities from collapsing.
He is telling the truth, as I am not detecting any lies from him. Just let him take the rock and let's get on with it.
If you say so. Now that the incident's over, we can celebrate and party all night long. Marisa will be so jealous after she hears I met a being from another reality.
Yo Reimu, keep up the great work and make sure to say hi to Rumia from me.
Wait, how do you know her? Just who are you?
I am just a passerby. I just wanted to let you know you're doing a great job and I wish you good luck.